Hello, and welcome to Latest on My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet, the daughter.
And I'm Kevin the dad.
And this week we're feeling a little bit rude, but neither of us is nude. And we're talking about Nude and Rude, the best of Iggy Pop. So, Dad, what do we need to know about Iggy other than the fact that it's a miracle he's still alive?
Okay, so if you want a deep dive and first person account of Iggy's sex and drugs and rock and roll lifestyle, I highly recommend Please Kill Me, The Uncensored Oral History of Punk by Legs McNeil and Gillian McCain. I've read it 3 times so far and it is absolutely unputdownable. And yeah, you read this and you're just amazed that he's still alive, amongst other people. Anyway, James Newell Osterberg Jr. was born April 21st, 1947 in Muskegon, Michigan. He began to play drums in 5th grade, starting with rubber pads glued to plywood. His parents bought him his first real drum set. They lived in a trailer park at the time, and they gave up their bedroom in the trailer because it was the only room big enough to fit the drum kit.
Wow.
According to stooge Ron Ashton, James was a regular teenager. Didn't smoke, didn't get high, didn't drink. All 3 of those things he'd make up for eventually.
And was voted in 9th grade as the most likely to succeed in his class.
There you go. James played drums in various high school bands in Ann Arbor. One of them was the Iguaners. He then moved to join the Prime Movers. They gave James the nickname Iggy for having been in the Iguaners. And as we all know, the nickname stuck.
Where'd the pop come from, though?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Iggy went to and dropped out of the University of Michigan and moved to Chicago to learn about the blues. When he went back to Michigan, he formed a band called the Psychedelic Stooges. The other members were brothers Scott and Ron Ashton on drums and guitar, and Dave Alexander on bass. The guys gave Iggy the last name of Pop after a local guy named Jim Pop, with 2 P's at the end, whom Iggy resembled after shaving his eyebrows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Iggy said that though they had the band, they didn't know what to do, but 2 events spurred them on. One was seeing the Doors. They couldn't believe what Jim Morrison was doing, confronting the audience and pissing them off. The other was when the band was in New York. They wanted to check out the scene, and they met an all-girl band called the Untouchables. The guy's reaction was, quote, "Oh, you got a band, sure," unquote. And then the band played.
And then they were like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah, they said they completely rocked, and we were really ashamed.
Yeah, I hope they were.
In 1968, the band signed with Elektra Records. This is the same label as the Doors. Iggy said Ron Ashton called Mo Howard to see if the band could call themselves the Stooges instead of the Psychedelic Stooges.
Wow.
And Mo said, quote, "I don't care what they call themselves, as long as they're not the Three Stooges," unquote. And then he hung up the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he was honest.
The band's debut album, called The Stooges, was produced by former Velvet Undergrounder John Cale, who knew a thing or two about bands who didn't sell a lot of albums. Iggy was listed as Iggy Stooge, which he hated.
That's not his stage name.
No, the album came out in August of 1969. Rolling Stone critic Ed Ward called it loud, boring, tasteless, unimaginative, and childish, and then proceeded to say he kind of liked it.
Wow.
Today, the Stooges and the 2 follow-up albums are considered proto-punk masterpieces. Album number 2, Funhouse, was produced by Don Gallucci, who was the keyboard player for the Kingsmen.
Oh.
Louie.
Yeah, we'll get to them later.
Okay. Funhouse came out in July 1970, and the band broke up after Funhouse because of Iggy's worsening heroin addiction.
Ah, crap.
And then all of a sudden it's 1971. Iggy's without a record deal. He's got a lineup of guys called the Stooges playing small clubs. Then in New York City at Max's Kansas City nightclub, Iggy met David Bowie.
And the rest is history.
Bowie offers to produce an album with him in England. Iggy and guitarist James Williamson couldn't find a rhythm section in England that they liked, so they decided to reunite the Stooges. The Ashton brothers came back, this time with Ron on bass instead of guitar. Raw Power came out in February of 1973 on Columbia Records. Iggy produced it with Bowie doing post-production work. They only had 1 day to mix the album, and the result has been a love-it-hate-it controversy for decades. Iggy remixed it in 1997, adding more fuel to that fire. Meanwhile, back in 1973, Iggy's drug addiction was getting worse.
Oh, no.
The band's last show was February 9th, 1974 at the Michigan Palace in Detroit. The last half of it is preserved on the live album Metallic KO. Iggy's baiting the audience, who responded by throwing ice, eggs, beer bottles, and jelly beans at the band.
Ow!
Now, I can kind of see ice and beer bottles, but I guess these people were packing eggs and jelly beans? I don't know.
Eggs if they didn't like it, and jelly beans because that's what they threw at the Beatles.
That's true, which they didn't like because those things hurt. They were getting pelted. Anyway,
Yeah.
Iggy went on to make some recordings with James Williamson that got released in 1977 as Kill City. They both got album credit. Iggy then checked himself into the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute to clean up.
And Bowie snuck him crack.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
That's what Mike told me. He's like, yeah, Bowie snuck Iggy cocaine while he was in rehab.
Yeah, it says Bowie was one of his visitors as Iggy didn't want any enablers to be able to get to him. Guess that didn't work.
Nope.
Bowie took Iggy along on Bowie's station-to-station tour, and it was Iggy's first exposure to a large-scale professional touring. The next move was to move to West Berlin so they could both clean up themselves.
Time for the Berlin trilogy.
Yep. Iggy signed with RCA Records in 1977, and Bowie helped him write and produce 2 albums, The Idiot and Lustful Life. They got good reviews, but fans were taken aback somewhat at the idea of new wave Iggy.
Yeah.
Also, when Iggy toured for The Idiot, Bowie was his keyboard player.
Oh, cool.
Kind of kept in the background. He did a quickie live album to finish his 3-album deal with RCA. Then he signed with Arista, recorded New Values. It didn't sell well, but it got good reviews as it harkened back to the Stooges days sound-wise. Even the cover was kind of Stooges, with a shirtless Iggy showing off his physique. And as we all know, Iggy just performs shirtless. That's his thing.
Oh, yeah, he still does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether we want to look at it or not. In 1980, he wrote his autobiography, I Need More, which the Rock Snob's Dictionary lists as one of the books every rock snob must claim to have read, which I have not read, so I guess I'm not a rock snob. They called it, quote, a surprisingly erudite mini-memoir, unquote, which makes sense as Iggy's parents were teachers, and he is very well read.
Oh, yeah, he's no slouch.
So much so that in 1995, he contributed his observations on Edward Gibbon's The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire
Oh, shit.
to Classics Ireland, a journal of classical scholarship.
Wow, go Iggy.
In 1983, Iggy got rich as Bowie's cover of Iggy's China Girl became a hit from Let's Dance. On 1984's Tornado album, Bowie recorded 5 songs co-written with Iggy, thereby ensuring financial security for the Ig. The Bowie-produced Blah 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 came out in 1985, but some critics thought it was meh, meh, meh. In 1990, Iggy got his first and only top 40 hit, Candy, a duet with the B-52's Kate Pearson. It went all the way to number 28.
Oh,
Hey, for Iggy, you know,
that's pretty good.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
And at some point, we all know Casey Kasem had to say, that was Iggy Pop with Candy. I'm Casey Kasem. Anyway, Iggy spent the rest of the 90s putting out more albums and doing TV and movie work. He was in Nickelodeon's The Adventures of Pete and Pete. He was on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and he was one of the baby singers in the Rugrats movie.
And I'll mention 2 other credits.
Go ahead.
He was in the flop TV show Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, playing the caterpillar from the Lewis Carroll Alice in Wonderland story. And in the English dub of the Marjane Satrapi's animated Persepolis, he plays Marjane's uncle who gets executed in the English dub.
I kind of remember seeing one of those behind-the-scene things, and he's like shirtless.
In the studio
Doing the
recording,
lines.
because it's very on brand.
Yep. When Iggy recorded 2003's Skull Ring, he reunited with Ron and Scott Ashton for 4 songs. The Stooges officially reunited after that with the Minutemen's Mike Watt on bass. They released The Weirdness in 2007 and Ready to Die in 2013. In between those albums in 2010, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
As they should be.
after being nominated 7 times. In 2008, when it was 6 times, Madonna had got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What?
But she refused to perform on stage. She asked the Stooges if they would do her songs, and son of a gun, they did. Because
Wow.
that was her way of protesting that she got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before they did.
Wow, good for Madonna.
Uh-huh. And then after that, in 2009, Ron Ashton died of a heart attack at 60. James Williamson returned to the fold, and then Scott Ashton died in 2014 of a heart attack. He was 64. And you had some story about how Iggy gave out one of their phone numbers?
Yeah, he gave out in 2006 on a Jimmy Kimmel interview Ron Ashton's phone number, which he hadn't had to change in 30 years, and his address on live TV. They censored it, and Jimmy Kimmel looks at Iggy and goes, "That poor guy, he's had the same phone number for 30 years, and now he's got to change it because of you." And Iggy's just laughing.
And anyway, in 2016, James Williamson released a statement saying the Stooges were no more. Only he and Iggy were left, and they really couldn't call themselves the Stooges, and you gotta respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But Iggy kept moving on. He got a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2020, which is kind of like a good try thing, yeah, we're kind of making up because we didn't give you Grammys
Your
when we
laurels.
probably should have because we're lame. And most recently, he has a song on the new Superman movie soundtrack called Punk Rocker with the band Teddy Bears.
And he was happy with how it was used in Superman 2. He said, "I always thought Superman was a good friend to have."
Aha. And as for me, this is, a case again where I came late to the show. And I first heard Iggy on WBRU when his Blah 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 album came out. So that was 85. They played Cry of Love and Real Wild Child.
Cry for love.
Cry for Love. What did I say?
Cry of love.
Cry for Love. Sorry. Preposition problems.
So you heard that, Real Wild Child, what else?
And then later I heard Lust for Life almost every afternoon when I listened to the Jim Rome show on the radio.
Yeah.
Be more about that later.
Oh, yes.
Because he used that as his program's opening theme music. I actually got to see Iggy live once.
Really?
Either in the end of 86 or maybe the beginning of 87 when he opened for the Pretenders at the Civic Center. And that was back in the day where they would close off half the Civic Center because they would get some X where they knew they weren't going to sell off the whole thing.
That makes sense.
But hey, they can probably sell half of it, which they did. And I hate to admit it, I really can't remember what songs he did.
Ooh.
But I'm thinking it was probably mostly blah, blah, blah. But I do remember his stage moves. He was like all over the place, very athletic. I mean,
Did he dive?
No diving.
Oh, okay. Not
Lots
that
of jumping.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was done, when the Pretenders came out, Chrissy Hines said, "I am going to kiss the stage Iggy Pop performed on." And son of a gun, she did.
I thought you were going to say, "And now I'm going to go kiss Iggy Pop." That would have been interesting.
Nude and Rude, the best of Iggy Pop, came out in 1996. I cannot remember where I got it, so I'll just say Newberry Comics, one of them. The booklet's pretty bare bones. It could have used more song info or lyrics.
Something.
Yeah, but Iggy did contribute a quotation, which I'm going to read in full because it's kind of short and it's the only new thing. So it's, quote, "I'm sitting here on my ass, nude on a red sofa. Paris, summer 96 about noon. Bucka White I'm listening to. Dark girl in the background. So there's going to be a collection of my stuff, they tell me. Sounds like fun. Yeah, no more to say. Roll over." Unquote.
That sounds like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No, I mean, what he wrote. I'm
Oh,
like, that
yeah,
sounds like
it's
something
definitely
you'd
him.
say.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I was going to say, I didn't think my imitation was that good.
No, Dad.
Okay. The Nude and Rude 17-track collection was superseded by 2005's two-disc A Million in Prizes, the anthology, which has 38 songs. I'm kind of fine with Nude and Rude because for me, a little Iggy goes a long way. So let's jump right into it, or dive right into it, or
Dive into it.
or smear ourselves with peanut butter and roll around on broken glass into it.
I Wanna Be Your Dog. What's interesting about the title of this track for me, and I sent you this song, is that the other I Wanna Be song I listened to featuring Iggy was when he collaborated with Måneskin on their song I Wanna Be Your Slave. I think what I enjoy most about I Wanna Be Your Dog, which most people might find strange, is the music. Because that opening guitar is a blast of noise in the best way to say, "Buckle up, we're going on a ride." As for Iggy himself, he sounds almost laid back in comparison. Now, Mike told me that when Iggy was growing up, there was a clown he used to watch on TV who'd take in letters from kids. But the rule was they had to be 25 words or less. Dad, do you know who that clown is? Soupy Sales.
Really?
And Iggy used that template for lyric writing, no more than 25 words. Now, I know he did that in his early days, but I don't know about later on. Anyway, if you compare this song with I Wanna Be Your Slave, I Want to Be Your Slave is about a switch. Someone who's able to switch between being dominant and submissive in bed. With I Want to Be Your Dog, just a submissive, straight up. Iggy meets this person, they get in the room, and it's time for him to turn his brain off and serve. Not something I'd want to hear on a sex playlist, but the way Iggy sings with determination and the way the music is written, it definitely paints a picture of hardcore BDSM. Like Maisie Gibbons is going to step on you with her high heels and then get arrested for solicitation for prostitution.
I don't know what that means.
Desperate Housewives.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You know.
Okay. I Want to Be Your Dog from The Stooges. You know, back in, 1963 or 64 was the Beatles singing I Want to Be Your Man. And now it's I Want to Be Your Dog. Iggy said he wanted to write a song about God because he thought the sound, the guitar sound was so big, he wanted a big thing to write about.
Oh, okay.
Then he got the idea to spell God backwards because he really didn't want to sing about God. Because, he ain't no Brian Wilson, God only knows.
Yeah.
So the idea went from him being worshipped to him being loyal and possibly dominated. And also, I Want to Be Your Dog just sounds nasty.
Oh, yeah.
And so does, and I'll lay right down in my favorite place. Bad doggy, bad.
Or maybe Good Doggy, depending on what she wants.
And then eventually he did come out with a solo album called Naughty Little Doggy.
Yeah.
Anyway, musically, it's just so basic, I'd say even primal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
I think that's the point, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I always thought of as Christmas bells being played through the song is really John Cale hitting one note on the piano.
Oh.
Because I thought, are they trying to go for some sort of punk / Phil Spector thing?
That would be interesting.
But no. And the way Iggy sings, it's like he's almost snaring. Mm-hmm. I wanna be a dog. I mean, he's just really stretching out these.
You sound like drunk Jimmy Stewart.
Thank you. Yeah, he's just stretching out these words, and it just sounds great. And it's it's definitely all attitude, which you gotta have.
Next track, No Fun.
No Fun?
Do I hear a whiff of Louie Louie or the Kinks with those opening notes? He even sounds like one of the Davies brothers, too.
Oh, yeah.
Iggy put into words that emotional frustration when you feel stuck. Life just isn't fun for him right now. He's not fun to be around, and he doesn't know what to do. Go out, stay in, or if he's really desperate, he'll ring his mom. And he doesn't know how to make it better. I think this is where Iggy started to kick in for me a little more. Hearing his performance get more crazed as he talks to Ron, which I didn't realize he was talking to the bandmate at the time. I was like, who the hell's Ron? But then that screaming at the end. They're fascinating choices that I enjoyed, because it shows while he may not know what to do next, his frustration is getting more and more pent up, and he's going to explode if it keeps going on much longer. Pretty relatable, because we've all had those days.
Yeah, Iggy is having, wait for it.
No fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he's telling his babe it's no fun to hang around, no fun to be alone, in love with somebody else. And it sounds like she doesn't want to hear about Iggy's existential crisis. Like she's getting ready to leave, because at one point he sings, hang on, don't you let me go, no fun to be alone. So make up your mind, you want me, you don't, anyway. Hence the crisis. Mm-hmm. Then Iggy gets lost in the song, telling Ron Ashton to tell us how he feels via guitar. And Ron, he just rises to the challenge with a simple, fair solo for the rest of the song. And Iggy just joins in, and then he just loses it for the last minute and a half of that song. And it's one of those things you're just so thankful it's preserved.
Next track.
And,
oops, sorry.
And it's like the way the guys are playing, it's even more stripped down, because they're all playing the same pattern right down to the hand claps.
Next track.
Next track.
Search and Destroy. At first I thought, this opening sounds happy. Then the rest of the instruments kicked in and I thought, nope, time to rock. Now here's the thing. I have a different interpretation of this song than I'm guessing you do, Dad. And I think it has to do with my generation. Why? Because I hear the character of this song and I think, oh, this is a school shooter. Isolated white kid who fell down the alt-right rabbit hole, looking for someone to blame as to why his life is a mess, and the voices of alt-right commentators telling him, it's not you, it's them. They're the reason your life is shit. And due to that lack of empathy, he gets a gun and shoots up a bunch of kids. To me, this song is a musicalization of that radicalization of turning someone into a hating killing machine, a song that made me reflect about how we've gotten here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Raw Power. Iggy's the world's most forgotten boy, who's a street-walking cheetah with a heart full of napalm. He's the one who searches and destroys. That's who he is, and that's what he did, and probably still does. A lot of war imagery in this one because Vietnam was still raging in 1963. And Iggy mentions, like before, napalm, then the A-bomb, and a firefight. And he's using technology, so look out. And I can definitely see your point of view. Musically, the drums sound thin, and they get overpowered by guitar and bass, which also sound thin, but not as thin as those drums. They're in there somewhere. Sounds like they're made out of cardboard, because that was the whole thing with, Bowie just having one day to remix the whole damn album.
Yeah.
I went back and I listened to Iggy's remix. It's a little better. There's almost kind of like more instrument separation. You can hear the bass drum better, but the rest of the drums still sound like cardboard. And I know Iggy's was just trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. He did the best he could.
Next track, Gimme Danger. My first note, man, Iggy is into some shit. In terms of using sex as an escape, I prefer this to I Wanna Be Your Dog. The reasoning? I just like the music better, and I think Iggy's voice complements the key they chose for this song. And this is the one that made me go, oh, now I get why he sang I Wanna Be Your Slave, because it references being a switch. Iggy's fine with being this person's lover, but if this person wants to dominate him, he'll do anything, and I mean anything. It's also a fantastic way to start this song because Iggy sounds like the dominant person in this dynamic until he lets his preference slip. Even then, his commanding presence never fully goes away. I like the song a lot.
Gimme Danger from Raw Power. 2 years before, the Rolling Stones sang Gimme Shelter.
Oh, wow.
And now we have Gimme Danger. Iggy said that this was about how he didn't want anything to do with girls during the time of Raw Power because they got in the way between him and the music. However, if they were crazier than he was...
Oh, crap.
Okay.
Ugh.
I think it was he just didn't want a relationship at the time. It was just like, give me what you got, I'll give you what I got, see ya.
Kumbaya.
Yeah. Right from the start, he sings, Gimme Danger, Little Stranger, and I feel with you at ease. And later he tells her, honey, gonna feel my hand. I think, uh-oh.
Tatouche.
Yeah. Hopefully she gave as good as she got. Anyway, musically, this is kind of comp for the Stooges. I mean, there's an acoustic guitar in it, and I wonder how did that get in there? But it's there. And I listened to the 1997 remix, and the drums sound a lot better. But other than that, there's really no big difference between the two versions.
Next track, I'm Sick of You.
Oh, yeah?
Not you, Dad.
I'll go do this podcast with myself.
I listened to this. Anyway, that opening sounded like a Cramps song. If they were inspired by Iggy at all, that'd make sense. The title says it all. Iggy is sick of Betsy. He's sick of her place, her mom, her dad, and finally, her. Now, at first I assumed this song was going to go at this plodding pace, which I don't know if they could have maintained it, but I appreciated how Iggy sounded literally sick. Like this girl is infecting his system and he's got to go. Then around the 3-minute mark, the tempo rockets up to a fast pace and off we go. My favorite part of this song was those rapidly descending chords on the guitar. I loved that. My ears honed in on that part of the song over and over. If this was staged or made into a music video, I could see the music starting slow as Iggy breaks the news. Then as the music kicks off into high gear, he starts packing all his stuff in a frantic pace to get out. Then he turns around and gives her the final goodbye and ultimatum as the music slows down again. Door shuts, he's gone. I was impressed by what they did.
I like that. This is from I'm Sick of You, a Stooges EP released in 1977. Yeah, Iggy tells Betsy he's going away because he's
sick of her.
Yeah, it's sad but true. For the first 2.5 minutes of the song, it's all I could think of was calm and menace. Then they remember there's Stooges and punk it up and start the song all over again, so you get two versions in one. And around the 5.5 minute mark, it goes back to a slow, almost jazzy menace. He's still telling Betsy he's sick of her. And I like your scenario where he's just packing up and, just throwing his shit together, ready to leave.
And she's probably losing her shit behind him, too. And he's like, gotta get out of here faster, gotta get out of here faster.
Because my thing was just like, I thought, well, he's still telling Betsy that he's sick of her. But in real life, I think she would have left after the first verse because who's going to stick around for 6.5 minutes listening to someone tell them how sick they are of them?
Yeah.
But I like your viewpoint a lot.
Yep, he's got to pack up and go. Next track, Fun Time. How come the cough stayed in? We gonna explain the cough?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, I think I might have figured it out. This song is disturbing and I love it so much. According to the YouTube description, this was improvised by Iggy and Bowie after a night of vino. Probably some other stuff too, if you ask me, but hey. My favorite part of this song is how when they sing All Aboard for Fun Time, the All Aboard sounds like a freight train honking. I'd never hook up with these guys in a club, but boy did they sell me on this song. It's a haze of being picked up like you're in a loud club, and I love it.
This is from The Idiot, and that title came from the Dostoevsky novel of the same name. And I remember Mike being just so enraged.
Mike Shavs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how could someone take a Dostoevsky novel title and use it for an album? Like, well, you've got the album, so you kind of must like it. Anyway, this and the next three songs were written by Iggy lyrics and Bowie music. The version I read was that this was their take on the Berlin night scene. Now, Iggy said he got the idea after hearing the Sex Pistols cover of the Stooges' No Fun. Bowie told Iggy to sing Fun Time like he was Mae West.
Interesting.
I don't know if he succeeded. Bowie plays guitar, synths, and piano. He's also the voice singing All Aboard for Fun Time.
Yes, he is.
And he also produced the whole album. And after that, he went to work on the first album of his Berlin trilogy, Low, the other two albums being Heroes and Lodger. To me, the song sounds anything but fun. But that's just me. I mean, everyone has their own definition of what fun is. It kind of drones, but not in a bad way, though. And it's almost like I listened to this song and I thought, okay, I hear Bowie laying his groundwork for his next musical phase.
Mm-hmm. Next track, Nightclubbing. Okay, this isn't a happy nightclub like Free Play. This is the nightclub in the seediest part of town with the most hardcore drugs, and girls don't go there because they know the drinks are gonna be spiked. At first, when Iggy sang, I thought it was Lou Reed. Then I heard the Bowie influence with Iggy singing the monotone backup. Just goes to show he and his friends shared a lot together. He sounds just like him. It didn't give me the vibe of a nightclub so much as the flop houses on Breaking Bad or Sherlock, when one of the characters would go get high with the other junkies and disappear for months. I think if you put this on at a club like Free Play, everyone would freak the hell out. But the instruments do a good job of creating club noise. Oh, and you know they're not dancing so much as swaying in a druggy haze.
Or stumbling.
Yeah, this is the clubbing scene people don't want to think about, but one that absolutely exists. Iggy knew what he was doing, shedding light on it. As for Grace's cover, Grace being Grace Jones, this is the club people go to hook up and grind on each other on the dance floor. One that I'd firstly feel a bit safer in compared to Iggy's, but not by much. And if Grace was there, she could do whatever she wanted to me and I'd say thank you. However, Iggy's is the most musically interesting. Sorry, Grace, you can punish me later. Listen, that woman brings out a whole new side of me.
Okay,
She made me question if I was straight.
Give me a second here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is also from The Idiot. And to me, it almost kind of sounds like Iggy's goofing on the scene and the people who are a part of it. They're just too cool, so cool that they're ice machines. They learn new dances like the nuclear bomb, which could be anything. But I think you're right, where it's just like, hey, we're going here to get messed up. We're getting dressed up to get messed up. And our stumbling, yeah, we're just calling it some new kind of dance. And, oh, my fingers. I have hands. Why are not I ruling the world?
I can smell colors now.
There you go. Musically, it's just like very icy. Like there's like a distance to it, which kind of makes sense. Bowie used a drum machine and then told Iggy that they needed a real drummer, and Iggy said no. He thought it was perfect for this song, and it's a good call on his part because the machine definitely contributes to the song's coldness. And also, I gotta say, great guitar work by Phil Palmer. And I heard Grace Jones's cover before I ever heard Iggy's. This was back in my safety shop days, where one of my coworkers, David Cobb, he was just so into Grace.
I know.
He would bring in cassettes, and that's how I heard her version. But hers is good, but Iggy's cannot be beat. So, come and get me, Grace. I really don't care.
Next track, China Girl. Okay, technically we already discussed the song when we were discussing David Bowie's album Let's Dance, our 4th ever episode of this show. And I hadn't really listened to the Iggy Pop version since we did that episode. Why? because at the time, I wasn't too impressed by it. David Bowie's was always my favorite rendition, and I still love the music video. I said that Iggy Pop's at the time was more bare bones, but listening to it again, I'm wondering why I thought that, because it's not bare bones with the arrangement at all. Musically, with the strumming guitar and some of the chimes. And again, Iggy sounds like Lou Reed. I definitely appreciate his original way more than this time around, but Bowie's will always have the soft spot in my heart because I heard his first.
Okay. This is also from The Idiot. It was inspired by an affair Iggy had with a Vietnamese woman. Iggy said it was about, quote, a very blundering, blustering rock and roll hero who has big plans and Western habits, who becomes enchanted and subdued by a Chinese girl, unquote. Also, he realizes his Western influences are corrupting her.
Yes, I'll ruin everything you are. I'll give you television. I'll give you Eyes of Blue.
Yeah, I kind of remember a few years back there was an article about songs people should feel guilty about listening to nowadays.
Really?
Some such nonsense. And China Girl was on that list. And I think they kind of missed the point.
They're not fetishizing Asian women, which is definitely a real thing in this world, but it's like, I think it's cautioning, especially with the self-awareness of I'll ruin everything you are.
Because I think it was Bowie's version because that was a popular one. And I think they thought, well, Bowie's trying to convert the China Girl to Western ways. But I think he's warning her. He's saying, you better not mess with me. I'll ruin everything you are.
Especially with his other music videos, he's pointing out the treatment of the indigenous peoples in New Zealand with his Let's Dance music video, if you pay enough attention. Yeah.
So people who came up with that list, you really need to unclench.
You have to realize they're not condoning it. They're shedding light on it.
Anyway, for me, the great line I love in Iggy's version is, and when I get excited, my little China Girl says, oh, Jimmy.
Just you shut your mouth.
Bowie says, oh, baby. Yep.
Well, yeah, because his name is James. Yeah.
Because it's Iggy's song, damn it. And the way it starts, it almost kind of seems like we've wandered into the middle of the song. That's how we've always felt about it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It isn't as dance-oriented as Bowie's, which I am completely fine with because, after all, Bowie did name his album Let's Dance, so he'd be able to dance to it.
And that's Nile Rodgers' producing influence, too. That's why it sounds the way it does with the do-do-do-do-do-do-do, which Nile Rodgers thought he was going to get fired for suggesting. And Bowie goes, that's fantastic. And Nile Rodgers went, well, if you like that part, listen to the rest of this. Come on, guys. 1, 2, 3. Da-na-na-na-na-na. If you listen to any of Nile Rodgers' interviews where he talks about David Bowie, watch them. They're just so fun.
Okay.
Anyway, next track, Lust for Life. All of a sudden, I was transported back to Jim Rome's radio show, but Dad, you can go off on that. Now, the lyric that smarts the most is, your skin starts itching once you buy the gimmick about something called love. Oof. It made me want to hug Iggy, and I don't know if anyone's ever had that reaction to him before. Like, I want to give you a hug.
You need a hug. No, I don't think so.
If the character in this song has a lust for life, he's been going about it in all the wrong ways. But he seems to have realized that he needs to turn his life around. No more beating his brains with liquor and drugs. Here's the thing, though. What? Oh, haha. Yeah. I referenced Jim Rome because all I heard was the opening of this song on that show. No lyrics. He cut it off before he would start singing. But honestly, though, if this song was just an instrumental, I'd be totally fine with that. Now, as for the Supremes' Elephant in the Room with You Can't Hurry Love, I actually sang that song once at Smarts when our theme for the year was Give and Take because the lyric, love don't come easy, it's a game of give and take. And, yeah, I definitely hear the similarities, and if Iggy got sued, well, I understand why. Not a good look, my guy. You can't He's So Fine your way out of this one. Iconic song, but not my favorite one on here.
Okay. So this is from the album called, wait for it, Lust for Life. And, of course, Iggy's had it in the ear before. Of course he has. There are some references to a William Burroughs novel called The Ticket That Exploded. There's a character, Johnny N, and something about hypnotizing chickens. And, Iggy had and still has a lustful life. And he's worth $1 million in prizes. And it took a long time for this song to become a hit. It was used in the marketing campaign for the 1996 movie Trainspotting.
Yes.
And it took hold, and its success led Virgin Records to issuing Nude and Rude, the best of Iggy Pop.
Nice.
I'm Casey Kasem. Because, hey, I saw the movie, heard the song, I fell for it. Now, back in 1990, 6 years before Trainspotting, Jim Rome used Lustful Life as his sports talk show's opening theme song.
Which I thought was a genius idea because you hear it and it's like, I know what show's about to play now.
And the thing is, I played your mom. Hey, I got this song, Lust for Life. I never heard of it. You'll know it as soon as it starts. As soon as it starts, she looks at me. Jim Rome Show. 35 years later, he is still doing his radio show.
Yes, he is.
But this time, it's at an undisclosed location somewhere in California due to overzealous fans trespassing at the former studios.
Oh, shit. He's also sometimes comes on TV for ESPN and stuff like that, too.
Yeah. And you can still hear his show around here at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 790 a.m.
Does he still have the that plays when he hangs up on someone?
I don't know. I haven't heard the show in a while, but now that I know it still exists, I might give it another shot.
You're retired now. You have time to listen at 3 o'clock in the middle of the afternoon.
That's true. And I'm sure Iggy and Bowie's estate are probably still getting paid for its use.
I'm sure.
Because I know that when Rush Limbaugh had his show, he used My City Was Gone by the Pretenders.
Oh, no.
Chrissy Hine got a check for $100,000 each year.
And she would shred it. Tell me she shredded it.
She would donate it to the most liberal causes ever.
Good for you, hon.
Yep. And his show is still the first thing I think of when that intro starts. And not only was it used for Jim Rome's show, but it was also used for Royal Caribbean cruises.
Huh. That's interesting.
Because I guess they must have had, instead of the Love Boat, it was the Lust Boat. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, musically, it's thunderous, especially the drums and bass. Courtesy of Hunt and Tony Sales, who are Soupy Sales' sons.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
And the thing is, you can't not move when this song is on, because it just rocks like a mother. And I mean, Iggy doesn't even have to sing on this song, and it'd be a great song. Like you said, just be an instrumental track.
I'd listen to it, yeah.
And for a little over the first minute, he does not. Then he comes in, and it's still fine. And if this song sounds familiar to you, for you older types who listen to the show, back in 1966, it was called You Can't Hurry Love by the Supremes. And someone needs to mash up those two songs and throw in this third song, because Jet took Iggy's Lust for Life, and they called their version Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Now, did the Supremes or anybody ever sue Iggy for Lust for Life?
I couldn't find anything, no.
Wow,
no,
okay.
But
Well,
I don't know if there's a statute of limitations out there now.
maybe,
but
yeah.
you never know.
Next track, The Passenger. I like this song. Does it have to do with the La La La's? Yeah, it kind of does. I could see myself playing this song while driving through Providence on a Saturday night before going to free play.
Just scaring the crap out of yourself.
Oh god, I didn't think of that. I'm curious as to who the character of this song is. Views the city from a window, but never really gets out of the car and interacts with anyone else. Yet it's his and someone else's. His side chick? Maybe? Who knows? Gives off affluent billionaire, but I don't know if Iggy was going for that. Interesting to consider, though. As for, how do you say it? Susie and the Banshees?
Susie.
Susie and the Banshees. The lead singer's voice is perfect for this song. And I've heard this cover used on TV before, but I can't remember where. Or maybe I heard Susie and the Banshees sing something else. It's cool that Iggy enjoyed the cover, too. He said it never occurred to him to add horns, but when he heard that, he thought it was great. So I can say I like them both for different reasons.
Okay, this is also from Lust for Life, and it was Iggy words and guitarist Ricky Gardner music. Lyrically, it was inspired by a, quote, poem, unquote, by
What?
Jim Morrison called The Lords, about how life is a journey by car. So deep, just so deep there, Jim. Not as deep as you being, currently 6 feet under, but
Whoa, hey now.
I just don't like the Doors. Or anyway,
Apologies to any Doors fans who stumbled on this show.
apologies from my daughter, but not from me.
Yeah.
Anyway, Iggy has also said it was inspired by riding around North America and Europe with David Bowie,
Cool.
because Iggy didn't have a driver's license or a car of his own, so he was at Dave's mercy. And I swear there was a Volkswagen ad years ago that used this song.
That's smart.
Now, Iggy himself is the passenger who stays on the glass looking through the window, seeing the stars come out, and he just rides, and he rides, and he rides. And musically, it has a great riff, but whoever joins Iggy on the La La La's just has a disturbing voice. And the first thing I thought of, I don't know why it came into my head, was that character Creature from the Harry Potter movies.
Oh my god.
I thought, if that thing could sing, it would sound like that.
Wow.
I could
Okay.
be totally wrong. Now get this. Iggy re-recorded this song in 2024 with Susie Sue for an ad for Magnum ice cream.
Interesting.
They call in when I read about it, it was called an advert, so I thought, okay, it's got to be in England.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can probably find it out there
Oh,
online.
sure.
I didn't bother looking. Now, Susie and the Banshees first covered The Passenger back in 1987, and I heard her version first on WBIU. And compared to Iggy's version, it's almost cheery.
Almost, yeah.
But I like Iggy's version better. You kind of get the feeling he is never going to be able to get out of that car. He's just going to spend the rest of his life trapped in there like a bug under glass or something.
Ugh, next track, Kill City. Wait, did Van Halen rip this off for Jump?
I don't know. It never occurred to me, but I'd have to re-listen to it.
The notes on Give It Up, Turn the Boy Loose also sound familiar, but I can't put my finger on the song. Pretty
point.
underwhelming as far as Iggy goes. He could have been trying to make a statement about class divide or how pent-up emotions not expressed lead to destructive behaviors, which cause someone to overdose on the bathroom floor, but this really didn't do it for me, even with all the fun music.
This is from Kill City, which was recorded in 1975 but released in 1977 on Bump Records.
Bump!
Kill City is a playground for the rich, but it's a loaded gun to Iggy. And if he has to die here, he's going to have some fun first. And I love it when he's give it up and turn the boy loose and just gives that, turn the boy loose. Turn that boy loose. And Iggy, he's starting to get back to basics. Not exactly punk, but solid rock.
Next track, Real Wild Child, parentheses wild one, because it opens with Iggy saying, I'm a real wild one, wild one. Oh shit, I loved how that went back and forth in my ears. And Iggy, if you're out there, you might not want to hear this, but you looked incredible with that short crop of black hair. In fact, I was so engrossed with how Iggy Pop looked in 1986, I had a crisis. I'm sitting and watching that music video and going, oh shit, is 1986 Iggy Pop hot? I felt like that scene from Modern Family where Cam has a crisis because he can't believe he finds Phil Dunphy attractive. But there's something about how Iggy looked back then that had me completely enraptured. Would I save the song? Well, I did, and I thought to myself, I would definitely watch that music video over and over. Dad, be grateful I didn't grow up with this song as a teen or that I wasn't a teen of the 80s. I might have done stupid stuff to get 1986 Iggy to notice me. You're welcome.
I do not want this is why we waited for 13 years, to pop you out.
Thank you.
Anyway, this is from blah blah blah. This was written by Johnny O'Keefe, Johnny Greenan, and Dave Owens, and it was first recorded by Johnny O'Keefe, who was an Australian rock and roller, in 1958. There's lots of covers out there. Iggy's was the first that I ever heard, and this is, of course, on BRU back in 1986. And Iggy gets to sing this song because he is a wild one. Always has been, always will be. Musically, it's Bowie twiddling the knobs along with David Richards. It's very new wave and very danceable. But given the song's subject matter, I find it kind of calm.
Yeah, which is interesting. I was noticing that too because I was re-listening to it this morning.
And the only other version of this song I have is by Jerry Lee Lewis, one of the original Wild Childs. Did you get to listen to it?
No.
I sent you.
Did you text it to me or email it to me?
I texted it to you, and
you gotta email me.
I included a note saying what it was and what it was for.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Anyway, Jerry's 1958 version clocks in at a brisk 1 minute and 53 seconds, and it is hands down far superior to Iggy's cover. And I think Iggy would agree because it's Jerry Lee Lewis, for God's sake.
Yeah. Next track, Cry for Love.
Wah.
Okay, here's my question. It's not related to this song, but it's sort of related to the music video. Who would win in a weird white man dance-off, Iggy or David Byrne?
I want to say Mick Jagger because... Wow, I would really have to think about that. I'd give it to Iggy. He seems to be more spontaneous, where David's more calculated. It's been planned out in advance.
That's true. I'm obsessed with this video and Iggy's singing performance. It sounds like a Bowie track. You can see how they influenced each other every decade. I love this song. It rules. I ended up saving it with Wild Child. The lyric that really hit was, been searching for meaningful embrace. Sometimes my self-respect took second place. Oh, and in the video when he gets on his knees and gives that girl a drink, whew. But then he gets dejected like, yeah, I know this song and dance. Completely obsessed with 1986 Iggy Pop and the short black hair. It's a fascinating change I love.
Wow, that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
This is from.
Well, 39, technically.
All right. This is also from blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first Iggy song I ever heard. Once again, WBRU, October 1986. Iggy is crying for love in both senses of the word. He's calling out for it on one hand, but on the other hand, he lets us know that his eyes are soaking.
Mm-hmm.
He's tried to find the real thing, and he does admit, quote, in searching for a meaningful embrace, sometimes my self-respect took second place. We've kind of, well...
Oh, yeah.
And then he tells us at the end not to sweat it because there's a chance that we will get it, the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Musically, it rocks in an 80ish type of way because there's a lot of synthesizers over the guitars. And fun fact, when you mentioned Bowie, Iggy virtually disowned blah blah blah, calling it, quote, a Bowie album in all but name, unquote.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Now, I bought blah 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 based on hearing Cry for Love and Real Wild Child, and guess what? It turned out that those were the two best songs on the whole album. And this is why best ofs come in handy. Because you get all the good stuff and none of the dross.
I think if I wasn't a Bowie fan, I don't know what I would have thought of those two songs, but I just love them. I really do. Iggy, I'm sorry. I know you disowned it, but...
They are really good songs.
They're very good. I'm sorry, Iggy. I like what I like.
I mean, the other 8 songs, I can definitely see him distancing.
Next track.
Dave meant well.
Yeah, Cold Metal. Did the darkness steal those opening chords?
I would have to go back and listen.
Well, Iggy became a ginger and suddenly he wasn't attractive anymore. I saw him with that long hair and I went, ah. Although I do find myself still engaged with his music videos. Why? Because Dad, to quote you, he's just so Iggy. This song would be an interesting pairing with Born in the USA as two 80s songs that critique America, but Iggy's is likely to not get as misinterpreted. And I like how he ends with the message of save a tree. I wonder if he's talking about industrialization affecting everybody and he needs to get out. Okay, yeah.
Okay, this is from the album Instinct. Now, A&M was expecting blah, 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 part 2.
Nope.
As blah, blah, blah sold kind of well. They got Instinct instead. And I just imagine Herb Alpert, who was the A in A&M, going, what the hell is this? Instead, he got Cold Metal. Cold Metal is everywhere. It's in Iggy's garbage can. It's in his blood. It's also the father of the beat.
He's talking about microplastics before we knew what microplastics were.
But it also sounds lovely like a Hendrix tune. It'll even fly. But at the end of the song, he seems to reject Cold Metal. Because like you said, better save a tree, he tells us. Then he just sings Save a Tree over and over and over. Because he cares about the environment. This is basic, no BS rock. And it is catchy. Great guitar from former Sex Pistols Steve Jones.
Oh, cool.
Now a fun fact.
What?
Cold Metal got a Grammy nomination in 1989 for Best Hard Rock / Metal Performance.
Okay, Dad, what did it lose to?
Now, here's the thing.
What?
Metallica was expected to win for their Injustice for All album. Guess who won?
Jethro Tull?
Yes.
Okay, I remember you complaining about that, and even Jethro Tull knew that was stupid.
They did. They were decidedly not metal. And the thing was, when they got nominated for it, the manager told the band, stay home because there's no way in hell you're going to win.
Oh, but they did.
Yep. And then Tull singer Ian Anderson, who said he was glad he was not at the ceremony when it was announced because you could actually hear booing. He was stunned that the band was even nominated in the category in the first place. Even he knew it was wrong.
I would have given the Grammy up at that point. Be like, no, hey guys, you take this. I'm out of here.
And the funny thing is, like after the Grammys, Metallica, they put a sticker on Injustice for All saying Grammy Award losers.
Nice.
And always remember one of the rules of rock and roll.
The Grammys suck?
Well, okay, that's another rule. Tull rhymes with dull.
Wow, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Next track, Candy. No, not the Nat King Cole one. This is Iggy's. I think I mostly like this song because of Kate Pearson's performance. And I don't remember actively listening to her or the B-52s in your car, but I love her voice. And in the music video, nobody's ever pointed this out but me, she looks exactly like Barbara Gordon in the animated Batman film Sub-Zero.
Oh, I'm going to have to check out the video.
Seriously, Google the two of them side by side. Same red hair, same blue dress with gold straps, everything. It's a carbon copy. Anyway, I love this song, but it did make me wonder, did people think that Iggy sold out by doing a rock pop duet ballad? Okay, because it's a departure for him stylistically. Not that I mind, though, some creative turns I really like, but I wonder if Stooges fans listened to this and wondered, what the hell's this? I still enjoyed it, and I think Iggy and Kate's voices blend well together. They should have done more duets, in my opinion, because they sound great.
Originally it was going to be Chrissy Hynde, but things didn't work out, and Iggy said also he wanted someone who kind of had like an innocent, naive type of voice.
Katie's got a little bit of that.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is from the album Brick by Brick. It's Iggy's only top 40 hit, and I think it's due to Kate Pearson being on the song.
I think so,
because
too.
at the time, the B-52s had a huge comeback in the late 80s and early 90s that just surprised everyone because they were kind of going
down.
Ricky Wilson had died, and the band just didn't seem to be into it anymore. And all of a sudden, holy crap, they are back. So it was like during that time, anything they touched virtually became a hit.
Well, thank you for your contribution to Iggy's career, then.
Yeah, because after that, Kate sang on REM's Shiny Happy People in 1991.
Oh, yeah.
And that became their last top 10 hit.
Which pissed off the band because they wrote it to prove a point to their producer. People only want to hear songs about shiny, happy people. And then they wrote that and it rocketed up.
And then they had, was it Shiny Furry Monsters on Sesame Street?
Furry Happy Monsters
Furry
on
Happy
Sesame
Monsters,
Street, which I
thank you.
love.
Okay. Now, anyway, Iggy said this song was about a teenage girlfriend, Betsy, which might be the same Betsy that he was sick of back in Sick of You. This time around, it seems like he's reminiscing about a lost love that he can't let go after 20 years. And Kate seems to be Betsy herself. She responds that she's glad he got out of their small town, but she also feels as he does. She misses him and, you know. Anyway, Iggy. It's Bigley. Sorry. Iggy's actually crooning on this one.
Yeah, he is.
He's with a real singer, so he's upping his game.
Sorry, I gotta share a note from an interview Iggy did. He had a girlfriend at the time who was introducing him to her family, and she went, "Oh, this is I think she might have said James or Jimmy. He's a singer." And the dad went, "Oh, like Neil Diamond?" It's like, no, not like Neil Diamond. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, Kate sounds great as usual, and for me, the best part is at the end when she yells "Candy." That. Yep, a sweet, sad song from Iggy Pop. Who knew?
He's got range. Next track, Home. I've definitely heard this song before. I recognize the chorus instantly. Iggy's not beating around the bush. He says everyone deserves a home, and he's willing to do what he has to keep his so he doesn't end up on the street. It sounds like he's talking to some punk kids sneering at him, and Iggy is doing his own version of Respect Your Punk Elders. Good song and good music video.
Bastard.
Yeah, good music video too, although if it came out today, they'd have to say strobe warning for people with epilepsy.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
This is also from Brick by Brick. And yeah, the message, everybody needs a home. And he is serious about it. He says you better think about it, better love it, don't shove it. And then in the cleaned up version, it's every mother's child needs a home,
Every mother's child's gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly.
as opposed to every mother really needs a home. Anyway, and I am with him on this. He loves how he can lock himself inside and no asshole can get him and no one can fuck with him. And that's where the home should be, keeping the outside world outside. Get off my property, you kids. I'll call the police. Straightforward, no BS rock and roll. This song should have been a hit.
Final track, Wild America. In my opinion, the best way to experience Wild America is to watch the music video for it. Interspersed with the song, Iggy is telling his life story along with the woman reciting America by Allen Ginsberg. Not gonna lie, I'd play this at a 4th of July barbecue just to see what would happen. Because it's Iggy critiquing the United States while also sharing his experience of growing up here. The people who laud Iggy as a genius should point to this music video as an example because it is art and the song is only a portion of that art.
This is from American Caesar, and yeah, it's a song about American excess. Quote, they judge a man by what he's got and they want to have more and more, unquote. Meanwhile, I think Iggy's having his own experience in Wild America with a Mexicana with a butchy girlfriend. They take him into the alley for a little chat.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. He winds up in the car and is offered meth, but he wants marijuana instead because Iggy's responsible. He admits he can't drive home in his condition.
And he needs to have good teeth.
I guess so. And the line "exterminate the brutes" comes from Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness,
Yes.
where Kurtz just like totally loses it and it's like, yeah, we got to kill them all. Got to kill them all. And there are pages and pages and pages and even a book written about that line. Just fascinating.
That book was controversial when I went to high school, not because of the subject matter, but there was a huge debate between the English department and the history department with that book, because the English teachers were like, there's deeper meaning here about what's going on with what these men went through when they sailed to these islands, and the history department's like, no, that's literally what happened to those guys when they went over there. There is no deeper meaning. That's what really happened.
And there was also a protest like, Joseph Conrad's racist. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. It's got a good riff and there's some decent pounding, but at 6 minutes, it's a little too long for me. But the video just totally caught me by surprise, like with
Right?
all the interruptions. Because just now, did you listen to the song itself, or you've only seen?
Only seen the video.
Okay, because for years I've just listened to the song straight through, which is 6 minutes in and of itself, and there's like so many interruptions, it just catches you off guard. I was
I
kind of
know,
like,
right?
I want to hear the song. I really like what you're doing, and I know all this stuff you're telling the camera, but I just really want to hear the song. But I love the video, and I'm glad you told me what that woman was reading, because I'm thinking, what is she talking
It's Allen
about?
Ginsberg. He scrolled down in the comments and somebody cited it because other people were wondering that too.
Oh, okay.
Overall, I enjoyed Iggy Pop. Not all the songs, but, the ones I like. If I was 15 years old and I saw Iggy Pop in 1986, I think I would have made every attempt to go to his concerts, but that might have been hazardous to my health.
Well, it probably would have been, Dad, can you take me to the Pretenders with you and Uncle Mike? Sure, Jules, and then just, watch you leap from the seat onto the stage.
Yeah, but it would have been hazardous to my health, especially if Iggy took a stage dive and landed on me. Then I'd need an ambulance. But if you haven't listened to Iggy before, I highly recommend that you do, because you hear about his antics, but then you listen to the music and realize there's more to this man than meets the eye.
Nude and Rude is, depending on your point of view, either a good primer to Iggy or all the Iggy you ever need. And I'm kind of the latter. Like I said earlier, for me, a little Iggy goes a long way, so I will not be upgrading to the 2-disc best of.
All right, as always, thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. The more you interact with the video, the greater chance we have of appearing on the YouTube homepage. Follow me on social media. I post the episodes there. You're friends with Dad. He'll send what you want to listen to right to your inbox. Thank you for listening to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. We will be back next time with another album to pick and gripe about. Dad, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, Iggy's Doughboys and Chowder House in Warwick and also Narragansett, they need to do a tie-in with Iggy while he's still around. And he will be in the Boston area soon. I'd like to think the times he's been to Providence that he has been to Iggy's itself.
Iggy, if you're out there.
Let us know.